So Visions is a rather large credit union based here in upstate New York. We've been around for over 50 years, and we have more than 191,000 members with 47 offices in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. So as you can imagine, with offices being in such diverse locations, it can be a challenge when you have a centralized marketing department, which is in Endicott, New York, but we have offices and business development officers and team members that we need to meet that are across 3 different states. So some of the unique challenges that we face, the first one is based on our location. So our office happens to be within a branch, which is great. We couldn't get any closer to the members. So our office is on the 2nd floor, the branch operates the 1st floor, and we have storage space in the basement. So as we're ordering our promotional items and our swag and all those great things, we're having to receive them to a retail branch location. Now, that presents challenges all its own. Thankfully, my team is very fit at handling boxes and moving things. But I think the time the semi-truck pulled up with the pallet full of marketing items was really the eye-opener for me that we really need a better situation here. Luckily, my team, went out to the street and we handed boxes back and forth and got things moved into the building. But it just wasn't conducive to what we wanted to do. The second part of that being the storage. So we're receiving these orders to a large retail location, and then we're storing them in the basement. So we're constantly, grabbing this cart and that cart and taking things down to the basement and, having to go through them ourselves. It said we were supposed to get 5,000 Frisbees. Did we get 5,000 Frisbees? Were any of them damaged? Do we have enough space to store them? All these sorts of things. Then when it came time for distribution, as I said, we have 3 different states full of branches and business development officers. It was one of my employees' responsibilities, or multiple employees, to pick, package, and ship those orders. So I'm constantly hearing questions asked around the office like, who has a box big enough for Frisbees and coffee mugs and umbrellas? And we're out of packing tape. How can I seal up this box? And we need the bubble wrap. Do we have any bubble wrap left over? And where's the hand cart? Oh, it's got boxes on it. We're going to need to unload it. And then we can load it back up again. What time does the FedEx guy get here? And then my favorite question of all, the call that you get on Monday, can we get it there by Tuesday? So as you can imagine, as we're trying to fulfill all of our employees' needs, we've got a pretty big job on our hands. So in doing that, the timeliness of deliveries was really kind of suffering. We were doing the best that we could, but you have to understand that we have regular day-to-day marketing job duties as well, and it's really hard to be at the disposal of everybody that needs an order on their schedule, and also they have limited storage space, so it's not like I can send them cases and cases of materials to have on hand because they don't have the space either. So we needed a solution. And we needed a solution rather quickly. So we were fortunate enough that our struggles on the day-to-day were witnessed by our beloved Velocity sales rep, Tom Houston, and he kind of was scratching his head as he's watching us run around and grab carts and move boxes and, oh, where's so-and-so? Oh, they're in the basement. They're sorting out the latest order that came in. So we were already a very satisfied print services client with Velocity, and Tom said, I think I could make this a little easier on you guys. And at that point, we were more than happy to listen to his solution. And what he proposed to us was the braided storefront through Velocity. So I listened to what he had to say, and we talked about the time frame on how long it would take to set things up. And for us, it needed to be within a new budget year. So we were probably talking about this in the end of 2016 and wanting to get set up for a budget year of 2017 so we could have those new funds to spend from and be able to budget accordingly. So within a few weeks of that conversation with Tom, we had worked with Velocity, and they were able to launch that custom storefront for us. And we were able to pass that on to our employees and our team members, knowing that everything was being warehoused and fulfilled by Velocity, and it was out of our hands, and we knew that it was being handled well. So to give you just a really quick before and after of how all this played out, Before, our situation was we would wait for the order to arrive, we'd haul the boxes to the basement. One of my employees would take time out of their day to verify for quality and quantity. We'd have to find storage space, we'd have to unpack it, maybe repack it into something else. Anytime we had a request from one of our employees that's out, in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, we'd have to count it out, we'd have to find a box and package it and address it and ship it. And this could easily take 60 minutes out of somebody's day. Well, walk in that storefront and you've got it all. So all they need to do is log into the storefront, they fill your shopping cart as you would at any retail online shopping site. Select the shipping address as to where it's going to, confirm and place the order, and you're done. This brought us down to about 6 minutes, which was just a very, very welcome solution. The results that we're seeing from this are really great, and just to run through the advantages of it, one thing that was important to us is to be able to manage the site permissions. So we wanted users to be able to order what they needed, but we didn't want every employee here at Visions to have permissions and be able to go in and order things. So we were able to set up the users that we wanted, and then we also broke it out into specific cost centers. So we would know how much the New Jersey team was spending versus how much the Pennsylvania team was spending. At the onset, we were able to input all of our shipping locations. So right from the beginning, 47 locations all programmed in there. So when anyone is shopping, they can pick the location it needs to be shipped to. Very often here in marketing, we'll get an order for, let's say it's someone in the trust department. Well, they're not located where we are. So we can pick that location because it's programmed in there, and then we just maybe change the name to the trust person's name. We have Velocity doing the quality check and inventory monitoring for us. So there's never going to be a problem if the coffee mugs come in and the handle is broken off. Velocity is going to see that, they're going to check it, and they're going to get them restocked into the warehouse before we even know about it. When it comes time to auto reorder a product, we can set a minimum quantity on that. So let's say it's coffee mugs. That's a great example. When we get down to 50 coffee mugs, we can either set that product to auto reorder if that's a really hot item for us and we always need to have it in the storefront, or we can have it set to just give us a notice, be like, hey, you've only got 50 left, you might want to reconsider reordering, or if our mind we know that's a product that we're not going to use again, we can let it run down to 0 and then it will fall out of the storefront. It gave us so much more storage space. It's just wonderful to know that it's all in a climate-controlled, nice environment, being taken care of, and it's not us hauling it up and down the stairs or in the elevator here in the branch setting. The order history is phenomenal. I used that when it was time to order items for this year. We were able to look and see what items were ordered the most, what items were ordered the least, and then we could have the discussion with our team as far as, well, how come nobody used the chip clips? What was the reasoning on that? And we'd make sure we always had valuable items in the storefront for them to use. As I mentioned before about the permissions and the budgeting, that has worked out really well. We've had the storefront up for over a year, so all of 2017 and then now into 2018. So when it came time for me to set my budget for 2018, I had my employee pull a few reports to see which items were being used, how much each region was spending, and I was able to set regional budgets for the employees as well as getting those new items ordered for the upcoming year. Something that we found was very helpful to us, and Velocity had suggested it to us, is to include the cost of each item. It lets your user know the value of something, so we know that a pen costs less than a water bottle. But to them, it's really important for them to know, these water bottles that I'm handing out 50, 100 at a time cost the credit union $4, $5, $8, whatever it might be. So we wanted them to understand the cost of the items that they were using, and maybe they would think about things a little bit differently. If they were going to be in a crowd of 10,000 people, maybe they'd pick the chapstick to bring instead of those water bottles that were a more costly item. And the custom reports were great. There were a few we had requested from Velocity along the way, and they were very fast at getting those implemented for us. And it really helped us when it came budget time to not only know the quantity of items that were being used and what we needed to reorder, but also from what areas and what the needs were specifically. In New Jersey, for some reason, they like light up piggy keychains. It's just something that they like down in that area, whereas in other areas they may be more into highlighter pens and water bottles. But the best part of all of this is it's left my staff more time for other projects. So that employee isn't spending an hour or more a day downstairs sorting through and picking and packaging orders themselves. It's all being handled for us. And when it comes to the disadvantages, there really aren't any that I have to mention. Now, I can only speak for myself and my team, and obviously we're very thrilled with this process and the partnership, but this is just my example. Dave from Velocity is going to explain just how flexible their fulfillment services are, and I'm hoping that one of those examples, or even my example, will let you know what a great process this can be for you.
Thank you, Mandy. To get a demo or to learn more, please contact Tony Johnston. Thank you.